happened before. So what just happened last night? Jerry Jones, he telegraphed this when he talked to the team in his exit speech that he gave to him, because as they all said, he said, I don't have many more opportunities in my life, because he keeps talking about his mortality and how much longer he's going to live. He's 81 years of age. I wish he wouldn't do that, because he could live for 25 more years, and it wouldn't surprise me.
But he's being realistic.
Okay, he's probably being realistic if you want to go off the tables. You know, that's what it would tell you. So the point is that Jerry just said, I'm too old to plunge, because a young Jerry, a 49, 50, 51-year-old Jerry, just when he took over the Dallas Cowboys, he would have plunged in this situation, because he would have said, unacceptable, unacceptable.
Skip, that's what I just tried to tell you. You sitting up complaining about 30 years and 28 years and the suffering. If you part ways with him, you're resetting the clock.
Okay.
Are you not listening to me?
Yeah, no.
Jerry is telling you this.
No, but he's saying, I don't have time to reset the clock.
He doesn't. Why would you reset the clock if you're 81 years old and you're talking about you don't have much time?
Because it will only get worse from here.
If you reset the clock and you bring in somebody and you don't get to where Mike McCarthy has gotten you,
we'll
you're
talk about this in a few minutes. Okay, the problem is we're going to lose a bunch of free agents. We're not going to have any cap room to sign free agents. All these stars are going to come due on having to pay the Micahs and the CDs.
And when has that ever been a problem for the Dallas Cowboys?
Right. But it's going to be a cap problem, because you're not going to be able to keep building around them.
But they have always had cap problems and figured it out.
Here's the problem. Mike McCarthy, since that long ago Super Bowl that you mentioned, 14 years ago, he's 6-9 in the postseason since then.
Okay.
He's 1-3 as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys in the postseason. Dak Prescott is now 2-5 as the quarterback of the Cowboys in the postseason.
Understood.
So you get a lot of regular season success, and then good luck to you, because you're going to need a whole lot of luck.
It happens to a lot of quarterbacks before they move on to win a Super Bowl in this league.
This is the most valuable team in the world. It is still called America's team, because every time it plays football on television, especially on Fox, it goes through the roof.
And how did it become the most valuable team? Because a smart man bought it at a certain rate, and he increased the value over time based on all the things that he's been able to do, acquiring players, winning Super Bowls, marketing the hell out of it. He knows what he's doing. You got to let it finish.
They're America's greatest gate attraction, but they got no chance to win a Super Bowl under Jerry Jones at age 81, because he just sent a message to that locker room that the unacceptable was completely acceptable.
I don't think he sent the message, because those players in there respect their head coach. The quarterback
No, they
of the
love
team,
him because he's easy. He's easy to play for. You know it, and I know
likes him. The quarterback of the team has the highest percentage since he's been in the NFL. Since Mike McCarthy started calling the plays, he's completed, 69, 70% of his passes. Come on.
There's no urgency in that locker room. There's no good fear factor. Nobody's walking on any eggshells.
Maybe there's not a player that has that type of personality, that has that edge that they had once upon a time. There is no Charles Haley in that locker room.
Nope.
There's no Michael Irvin in that locker room.
There's no Troy Aikman in that locker room.
There's no Troy Aikman in that locker room. But that ain't Mike McCarthy. Those personalities came to Dallas. Jimmy Johnson didn't create those personalities.
What happened after we gave up 266 yards rushing and got literally run off the field at Buffalo? Rob Gronkowski went on Fox and said right after the game, that is not a mentally tough football team. That starts from the top, starts with the head coach. You know it, and I know it. There's no leadership in the locker room, and there's definitely no leadership at the head coach.
It's a different type of leadership than what you are used to with the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott is a leader. He just leads differently. You're looking for more of, like I said, more of a Charles Haley type, not going to stand for it, throw a helmet through a wall when they don't do something right. You don't have that type of player. This is not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when we had nothing but players with attitudes.
Don't even start.
But that's the way our team was built.
It's like apples and rotten oranges is what you're talking about.
Our team was built a certain way. Our head coach was not like that. Our head coach was nice and calm, in everything. He approached it differently.
But are you talking about Tony?
Tony Dungy approached it differently.
Tony has inner strength to him that is palpable to me.
It's
just
different.
you can feel it.
It's a different way. It's a different way of coaching.
Tony is a natural-born leader in his way, much more than Mike ever was.
He leads differently.
Well, he doesn't lead at all. There's no leading. He can call plays. I'll give you that. So in the regular season, you got a chance next year to have the #1 scoring team in football. You got a chance.
Yes, and hopefully you can capitalize on that, though, Skip.
So what happened this year? If you step back from it and you say, okay, what did Mike McCarthy achieve this year? Well, he achieved losing to Arizona, and you never let us forget about that one.
Well,
to
that's
Josh
your fault.
Dobbs.
Ain't got nothing to do with that.
All right, so that wasn't Mike's fault. And Dak, as he said after the game, I stunk in that game because his QBR was pathetic. It was a 31.
So now you want to move on from Dak.
Okay, I've been saying that. I said it 3 years ago.
Sign Kirk Cousins. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay, I didn't say sign Kirk Cousins.
So who you going to sign?
Okay, well, again, I wanted Tom Brady 3 years ago, and guess what? We'd have another Super Bowl.
getting ready to work for Fox in a couple weeks, man. Come on.
I'm just saying, I already first guessed. This show's about first guessing. I first guessed it 3 years ago. I said, go get Tom Brady when his stock was at the bottom. When Belichick has said he can't play. When Robert Kraft said, you're right, Bill, let's push him out the back door.
You had a quarterback already in place.
Well, we didn't.
You
because
did.
It's the same guy. Okay, what have we seen from Dak Prescott lately, just in the last 3 years? We saw him.
Dak Prescott in week 12 was an MVP candidate.
Okay. We saw him two playoffs ago against San Francisco at home. We had a home playoff game. He stunk in that game.
Okay.
Then we saw him at San Francisco in a game that the defense actually showed up for, and he stunk in that game. And he himself
Tom
said,
Brady ain't never stunk in no games he's ever played in?
come on, don't.
I'm just asking you a question.
Well, all he did is win 7 Super Bowls.
I didn't question whether or not he won Super Bowls. I'm asking
Dak
you if he
Prescott
ever
has
stunk.
won 0 Super Bowls because he's never even sniffed the NFC Championship
I understand that,
game.
but you can't just say somebody as if Tom Brady never struggled before.
Okay, Dak routinely stinks in playoff games. 3 of the last 4 he stunk, and by his own admission, he stunk against Green Bay the other day because in the first half he throws 2 horrendous interceptions, 1 for a pick 6, and we're down 27-0. Okay, how am I supposed to count on that? How am I supposed to invest new emotion in that? Because
you're
I
going
can't
to invest.
I don't know.
You're going to have to. You're going to be forced to.
I'm thinking about getting a new team.
Well, maybe that's it then.
No, I'm serious. I spent last night, I was thinking, Wayne loves the Packers. He's going to be on tomorrow. And I started looking at the Packers and
I don't think he wants you with the Packers.
I just might. I might
don't
hop
need to
on the
bring
bandwagon.
negativity over to the Packers.
No, because I look at that team and I love Jordan Love and I love how he carries himself and I loved how he played against us because he tore us to pieces. He toyed with us. And they have 4 young receivers, as you well know, because one of them we had on the show yesterday is Romeo, and they're all 23 or under. They're going to go places.
So you want to abandon CeeDee Lamb now?
No, I love CeeDee. I already told you he's the best receiver in football.
Yeah,
I got that going for me.
You want to move to the Green Bay Packers because they got young receivers.
No,
as if
I'm
CeeDee Lamb is chopped liver.
How can I trust Jerry Jones anymore? Because it's clear to me all he cares about is putting an entertaining product on the field.
So
does Jerry really care about winning a Super Bowl?
Let me be the reasonable one at the table right now. So if you hire Jim Harbaugh and you go 12-5 and you get knocked out in the wild card round, what have you accomplished?
Nothing. But that wouldn't happen. Everywhere
you know it wouldn't happen?
Everywhere Jim Harbaugh has been, great things have happened. You saw he took the University of San Diego and turned it around. He took Stanford to 12-1. Are you kidding me?
I understand.
He took the 49ers to the brink of winning a Super Bowl because it was interference on Michael Crabtree in the end zone. Should have been called on a pass from Colin Kaepernick, and it was not. And his older brother survived in that game, and they won it. I give you that.
In a short order of knowing you and working with you, I love you, man. But to sit up and act as though Jim Harbaugh wasn't struggling when they redid his deal and took money from him at Michigan, and he didn't start winning big at Michigan until Urban Meyer decided to leave, Ohio State to take a job in television.
I know, but he took a Michigan program whose cupboard was bare. It took a while to turn it back around.
So now the narrative is it took a while to turn it around.
Well, he didn't have a quarterback. Just give him JJ and he's got a shot.
As I say many times over, and I'll continue to say it, if you don't have a quarterback in this league, you're never going to win. Okay. Everybody knows that.
So we have a pretty good one, which means that next year we'll be one and done if we're lucky. And speaking of luck, I got to throw this out because Jerry Jones' attitude is like, maybe next year we'll get lucky. We got lucky this year because the truth is, Keyshawn, if you step back from it, we were in big trouble because you bet me at one point on Philly winning the division. It was like midseason. You said, you want to bet a dinner on Philly winning the division?
And then Philly hit a wall and couldn't jump over it.
They couldn't jump over it. They went from 10-1 to 11-7.
Yeah.
They fell apart way worse than even we fell apart, and we were slowly falling apart. So we lucked into the Detroit game, and we lucked into, thanks to Philadelphia, Eagles turning into Beagles.
A few wins are lucky. You do know that.
We lucked into the 2 seed. All of a sudden, the heavens opened. Michael and I are talking about the Jimmy curse is broken, but I forgot about the Jerry curse because the Jerry curse is still in place.
So much for that Jimmy curse.
Yeah, so much for the Jimmy curse. And I look up, and we have the potential to win 2 home games against a lot of teams we obviously could have beaten, should have beaten.
Well, he was putting...
And we're 7.5-point favorites over the youngest team in the league from Green Bay. And I seriously, because you seriously thought, oh, the Dallas pass rush is going to eat Jordan Love up. It's his first playoff start, and he's going to have a long, hard game. And guess what? The opposite happened. And it was so bad that somebody had to pay for it. If you care about your fandom, if you fear that you're going to lose some of your fandom, you make a move. You go get some. I don't care who you go get. You just change coaches because, as you always say,
it's
the only thing you can change.
Right? You don't just skip. You don't just change coaches without a plan, man.